Okay, I call the meeting to order. So, yeah, even though it's August, I mean, I guess we need an update on hiring. And what's not filled and what needs to be filled and
Yep.
how the hell we're gonna pull this off, yeah.
I was telling Lee this morning, I leave one day feeling really good, and the next day I'm like, oh
Yeah.
man. It's a roller coaster for sure. But I just wanted to give you guys an update of where we're at and then what the things that I'm trying to do to get some positions filled. So currently we have 8 teacher positions plus 5 special ed teacher positions open. So
Yeah,
13
right, there's a
teacher
lot of
positions.
special ed.
Yeah,
that
so
jumped
5
ship.
total special ed teacher positions open, which is nerve-wracking. We're working to 2 4th grade positions that just have opened up in the last week. A reading position that had been open last year, never got filled, is still kind of hanging out there. Same thing with speech and language. Orchestra is one that I'm really trying to figure out what we're going to do with middle school and high school orchestra. That's such a specific skill set. And then a couple high school positions, one at Lincoln for ELA and one at math for McKinley. We're working on some pieces with that, and then we have a limited term contract for a 4K position for a staff member that's out that we're gonna work to fill. So I'm working on those. I have also 14 para positions to fill. And an HVAC position, which we interviewed for this week. So we are having a hiring fair on Thursday, 2 days from now. For paraprofessionals, so open interviews. So I have, I think, 6 or 8 principals coming to help me. It's gonna be like arena style. They're gonna come in, they're gonna send a resume, we're gonna interview them. I'll be available right away for good candidates to kind of follow up. So we're hoping to get some paraprofessionals and substitute teachers out of that pool. But we've been, I have been cold emailing people with certifications to say, hey, we have this open, like if you're interested. And then also working with, last year you worked with Amerigis and Elevate K-12, and those were 2 partnerships we had. So I've been talking with Amerigis, that's the staffing agency that from local in the United States that they bring people.
Right.
Elevate K-12 is that one that McKinley had last year for math that was online, which is like my last option. And then you'll see I'm bringing forth an agreement to work with a staffing company that brings international teachers over. So we worked not with this staffing company last year, but a different staffing company, because international candidates can pick who they want to help them with their visas. This candidate last year picked a different company. She's been great. They love her at Wilson. She's staying for another 2 years. So we had a really great math candidate from the Philippines that applied for our job at McKinley. So working with an international staffing agency. So what they do is they take care of the visa, they take care of all the paperwork, they take care of providing the medical insurance, the acclimation, the housing, they help with all that piece. We obviously pay them a fee to do that, but then that person will commit to either 1, 3, or 5 years with us. So I'm hoping that we can McKinley was very excited about the candidate they interviewed for them. So just trying to look for some creative solutions of how we can fill positions,
In that memo that you included, Teaching the USA, there's on one of the appendices at the end talks about a fee that's involved. Is the district picking that up, or is the candidate?
Yeah, so with this part, I've learned a lot about this. So every program is different.
Are we on to item number 3 now?
Yes,
Yeah, okay. All
if
right.
that's okay.
Yeah, that's
Can we
right.
just work right into that?
The Teaching USA.
Yep, so this particular company, what they do is we would pay the person's salary. They take care of the benefits and the medical and all that, and then we pay a percentage of their salary to the company as a fee to manage the visa, to manage the insurance and all that piece of it. 25%, she's a high, math is a high needs area. It goes down after, I think, the 3rd year or something like that. Some organizations, like the one that we have for our person we have right now at Wilson, they make the candidate pay the fee, or we can pick up to pay the fee, or we can pay the insurance. So every program's a little different. The nice thing about this company is that it's a little bit cleaner to me, like it's just a percentage of their salary.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about those other pieces, so that's we pay them that fee to help with the visa and the insurance and that stuff.
So we have,
Because typically you end up with an attorney helping.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yes, so they take care of all of that
Yeah,
stuff,
that's
then we
really-
don't have to worry about
That's
that.
really rough ground right now with this administration, man, I mean.
Well, and I asked about that, cause I said, what's the
don't
turnaround,
have
right?
too many
Like,
Muslims.
because we know visas were paused for a while, and they're open now. They said there is a backup though a little bit now because of the pause that happened, so they said like, we don't know if we'll get this person there for the first day of school, but it could be shortly thereafter. In my opinion, if we're gonna have a highly qualified candidate who's gonna be here in person teaching kids, that's better than learning over the computer.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
that's why, I'm bringing this to you guys.
So
to see.
we, the board has to approve this contract, right?
Yeah, and I mean, approving this agreement doesn't say we're actually gonna do anything yet, it just allows them to work with us. We
Right,
wouldn't pay
okay.
anything unless,
Yeah.
we had a candidate. I did ask them, like, what if we get somebody in mid-year, they decide it's not for them and they leave? We're reimbursed the money, like, we're not on the.
Oh, we are, okay.
it's not really brand new. When I was at Lincoln, we had, for special ed, wasn't quite as bad as it is today, but Shi Xuan from China came in with her husband. She was under a similar program. She taught for 2 years. At that time, severe multiply handicap, but it was an exchange, the same thing.
Yep.
She was certified as special ed, and her husband got a job here too. So we've done this in the past, but this program was much more detailed
Well,
than
and
what I had to go through.
That's what I like, is that they take care of all that legal
Yeah.
stuff, right? I don't have to try to get
Right.
visas and consulates and all that kind of stuff.
You can't be responsible for that.
Yeah, they take care of all that,
Yeah,
so,
I think the trick is the license and working with DPI.
yep,
I'll
absolutely.
leave it at that.
And I will say for our candidate that we have here currently that came last year, it's been a good process with that to get them, make sure they're certified. These companies vet all these people, they have to have a certain degree of education, they have to have a certain amount of experience, they have to meet certain criteria before they'll even support them coming over.
Well, I'm gonna make a motion, but I have a question first.
Yeah.
Regarding, are we almost ready, like in many districts with the special education, the speech and language and the school psychs and all these extraordinarily special services, about ready to offer some incentives? Are we gonna get to that point
Oh,
where
yeah.
we start competing against, Sheboygan has 30 some openings in the same area we're looking at?
Yep.
Are
It's
we almost ready to start doing that?
Well, it's a slippery slope, right?
Yeah, it is.
Because you
It is
do
last
things for one group and then you have to think about how is that gonna affect other
Exactly.
groups and other
Yeah.
classifications, right? And then it's hard right now because in education, where's there not a high needs area? It feels like everything's high needs right now, so I am not in a position right now where I'm thinking about those things
Okay.
yet. I mean, it definitely is something that I consider, but again, one of the things I'm really working on as I've been started in this job for, 5 weeks or 4 weeks now, is looking at our systems and looking at our equity and looking to make sure that we're doing things and we're not making a deal here and making a deal. And not that that stuff was done, but just, I think after COVID, people got so panicked, you know what I mean? And how can we start to just say consistently, and people want to negotiate, right? Like I had a person last week who like wanted me to pay all this money. I'm like, I can't do that. Like I know, but I can't, like I just can't.
Are our paraprofessional salaries comparable with our
Well, we
surrounding
tried to bring
area?
them up, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I could check on that. I know Mike talked that they were
Yeah.
working on that piece of it to bring that up, but I have not seen the
We
comps
did
yet.
work on it,
Yeah, I'm meeting with Nathan on Fridays.
I'm gonna make a motion to approve this contract.
Second.
yeah. All right, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. Okay. When I was, fairly fresh back from Canada, I talked to my sister who used to work for a school system. I said, we have a shortage of teachers in Wisconsin. We have a shortage of teachers, especially in things like special ed and stuff like that. And she said, oh my God, you do? We don't, And part of the reason is that they pay really well. Canadian teachers get paid very well. So a lot of people want to go into it, so they've got the pick. But I don't, the only reason I'm mentioning this, is there any company, including this company, that deals with Canadian people who are certified to teach and don't have accents that are hard to understand, et cetera? I mean,
Yeah, I'm not sure. I could look into it. I know, this company deals with international teachers, so to me,
Yeah,
Canada's
well,
considered
Canada's
a
still
different nation,
international.
so it could potentially be.
For a while anyway.
For a
Yeah.
while anyway, yeah.
I mean, I will tell you, the one good news you're gonna see next week is that I have filled 9 openings since our last board meeting, so we're
Wow.
making progress. So I.
One step forward.
One step
Got a month to
forward.
go, Stacy.
Yes, so, and I mean,
So
like, I filled an OT this week, I filled a social worker position, so I have filled some hard positions.
Yeah, that's pretty.
And I do think as things, again, we just talked about this curriculum, right? As we're turning the corner and we're getting consistent and there's calm and there's, you know what I mean? Like, I do believe we will get people back that maybe had left, or will become a destination, just, you know what I mean? A place that people want to
Yeah,
come
maybe
to.
we will, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel it. I feel
A
the
lot of
change.
those though, yeah.
So, yeah,
Last time I was in the district and we did the walk-up interview, it was a little chaotic in this building. So if you need a volunteer usher, I would be happy to come
you're so
help.
sweet. I might take you up
It's
on
just
that.
a little hard to get them.
Yeah, I have somebody assigned as a runner
Okay.
currently, but we might need more than one.
You probably will. So give me
I
a
will.
shout out.
I will.
I'd be happy to help.
Yeah, you
Thank
can't
you.
pass
It's
it.
an exciting day. It happens
Yeah,
fast.
I'm hopeful. I mean,
It was successful last time we did
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
I just made 75 copies of questions, so
Well,
I'm hoping
I think
go
we
through
might have
those.
been doing a signing bonus with
We
that
were at
too.
also, yeah.
And then we had candidates admit, I'm gonna work 1 year to get that, whatever thousand.
So how streamlined is the process? I mean, I mean, I was a dean for a while
Yep.
at the UW colleges.
Yep.
And I got to know the superintendent in Sheboygan at the time, and he said, "Oh my God," he said, "I can hire a principal in 3 days or something. It takes you 3 months." And we really did have a very cumbersome process.
Yep.
But how do people get interviewed and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah,
You know,
so
who does that?
Yeah, so I'm just working on, again, cleaning, like being consistent and having some clean procedures. So, and again, I think it's just, letting people know this is how we're gonna operate and what we're gonna do. So we post positions. All of our positions currently are posted for 2 weeks, and then we're gonna take them down or repost them, because sometimes if you leave it out there too long, nobody looks at it anymore. We open that up to internal applicants and external applicants at the same time. So if there's somebody interested internally that's in that position, they can apply, or they just submit a letter to us that we let them know. With that 2-week time window, the principal knows exactly when that's gonna close. So like, I would schedule interviews for the day after that closes and have my people picked. And get that set up. So they interview. Once they have a preferred candidate, we run a background check, and they complete 3 reference calls, and one of them has to be to a supervisor.
Okay.
After the reference calls come back, okay, the background check comes okay, then I have the principal call that person and say, "Hey, Lee, we just interviewed you last week. We're super excited. Can't wait to have you in team. Stacey O'Polly is going to be in touch with you." Then I do an offer to them,
Okay.
and then we move as quickly as the person. I mean, I had one person say, "Can you give me a week to think about it?" And okay, usually I try to say like, "No, you gotta
A week-
move a little
week is
quicker than that." Yep.
Eternity at this time.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So we can move pretty quick because we have a good system in play and in process.
So are there school districts that are rating other school districts? I mean, that happened within the
Like
universities.
poaching, like calling up people and
Yeah, right,
recruiting.
especially in.
I have not
Much
heard of that.
needed.
I mean, I have not heard of that here.
If you'd call somebody in,
Yeah.
special ed in Two Rivers and say, well, we could pay you more.
Well, and I would say, I have not done that. But here's what I say is that, again, I think the position the district is in now and the position that we're going, now special ed teachers who are in our district are going to call their special ed teacher friends in other districts and say, "Hey, we have
that's
come
really
work with
good,
us." That's the best advertising we can get, is when our
That's good,
own
because you can't be
people
passive.
are calling people that they know and saying, "Hey, come work, it's a really good place to come work." So
yeah.
that kind of internal piece,
Okay,
and again, I think it's getting better, it's better, and I think it'll continue to get better that way.
okay, all right. Well, so
Thanks
did
for
you.
jumping right into that, Stacy.
It's
July 1st, here we go.
It's been busy, but it's been good.
Stacy's been doing a lot of also looking at systems and,
Yeah.
we've reiterated with our building leaders how important those systems are because, one way that our time gets sucked up is when things go sideways, when you have to punt on things that you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
These things just make things very clear, concise, and to the point.
Yep.
And if everybody just does their job and knows their role, all things will work smoothly. And then also, you eliminate those unforced errors, and, you know, people are less crabby and also happier at work, so.
And we're proactive. We get to be proactive then rather than reactive.
Yeah, I
Rather
was
than
gonna
reactive
say, you
to
can't be
everything.
passive
It's a
on
big,
this.
you know,
Yeah.
now we have our process, we know our systems. And that system for interviewing is, we're interviewing for an HVAC guy. I talked to Mike Schwartz, same exact system if you're working.
Same thing.
You know, if you're
Yeah.
a custodian to an HVAC, to a teacher, to
Okay.
whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Administrators, we obviously do another level of interview with them just because that's a different position, but it's the basic same process.
Sure.
Yep.
Well, that was good. That was a good report.
Thank you.
Superintendent evaluation, that's kind of set. It's all set.
It can be if you agree to.
Yeah,
this.
yeah, well, is there a motion to adopt this schedule?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Do you see any, well, you were part of the.
Yeah, so Biff and I talked about, you know, after we had our meeting with WASB, at our next meeting, Biff and I went through and took a look at their dates and the things that they had set up, because I think there was some consensus around, you know, doing a January to December timeline for a superintendent evaluation. So
Yeah.
that's sort of what we set up here. And then the good news, the reason this is what they had us fill out, and I thought, well, this is the easiest way to look at the timeline, and
I think so,
you'll
yeah.
see sort of sequentially what all of our roles and responsibilities are, and we'll stick to this and do reminders, and we'll set our calendars up to make sure that you all know what you need to do, you all know what I'm doing, and then you know, as we get down to that October time when we set goals, and our office will make sure we stay on time. And
Yeah, because I was not,
Yeah.
thank you for that, because after our session with WASB, I wasn't exactly satisfied or guaranteed or felt comfortable that we were gonna be given kind of specific instructions as to how we were gonna log in, what we were supposed to do, when we were supposed to do it. I felt that was pretty absent in that presentation. So this
Yeah,
assures me a
right, yeah,
little
yeah.
bit more that you're going to give us the time our portals don't go into and what we need to do. I like that.
I appreciate it. It's an aggressive timeline, but it
Yeah.
meets
Oh, yeah, it's
the
bang, bang, bang.
deadlines for renewal. and
Right,
non-renewal,
that's correct, right.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not suggesting we're non-renewing. but anyway,
And it's timeline for contracts, I mean,
That's what I'm
exactly.
saying.
Yeah, he may
Yeah.
fall off the, yeah.
So was there a motion?
I made.
There was a
And I
motion,
seconded.
yes.
And
All
then
in
we
favor,
vote.
signify with aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No? Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks.
All right, this 100-day plan,
Yeah.
100-day plan, yes.
So I sent you a memo, sort of
we
accompanying
did.
the plan. So I think it's important for us to have a process for all the 100-day plans. So this is the first one, so I thought it would be important to sort of lay out and again reiterate sort of the point of the 100-day plan. So just as a follow-up, obviously to our strategic visioning, the 100-day plan cycle will be a way for us to be very transparent and in communicating what our intentions are of taking the first steps to getting to our 3 to 5 year vision. And in each of these areas, we'll produce a 100-day plan. So the first one that we're producing is on communication and engagement. This area is my big rock. So just to go through this sort of plan with you, the first 100-day plan focuses on the communication engagement and will serve as a model for the future plans, which will primarily, most of all of them will come in September. We might give the budget one a break till October because the budget comes in October and he's, you know, putting some pieces together. But, you know, likely most of them will come through the committees in the month of September. So the plan will be presented to the committee for initial review and feedback. Again, you've passed as a board the strategic vision. It's now our job as the administrative team to execute that vision and get us there. So our goal will always be to let you know what our intentions are, get your questions, get your feedback. You know, these are really our plans, but as you well know, when you're doing something, we may get into this and then go, oh, well, we also want to do this, right? So the other thing we'll do is we'll keep track of, these are agile plans and ones that can be, of course, when you're doing something in a continuous improvement cycle, you want to also give yourself some room to move in a direction if you see something happening in what you're trying to do. However, if they are changed or amended or things, that will be something that we would talk to you when we do the 100-day report. All right, so, you know, after today, the 100-day clock starts. And so our plan would be to come back to you, I believe it ends up in December, if I'm right. Would be in the December meeting where we would come back and I would essentially file with this group a 100-day report of the communication engagement, as well as lay out for you in the same meeting what the next 100 days would look like. We don't need to waste time in between cycles. We just go from 100 to the next 100.
Okay.
And of course, we would base some of those actions on some of the, some of the results of what we would do first. So anyway, that's just more along the lines of a process that we're hoping to use for this. Does the board have any comments, questions, or concerns on that?
Go ahead.
I think you just clarified my question, so the curriculum committee will be getting some of these.
Yes.
As well as the finance committee.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it really ends up gonna be, 3 of them are coming to this group, 2 are going to finance and facilities, and 2 are going, to curriculum and instruction.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, I was wondering why we got this, but,
So I think the reason is that, one of the components, honestly,
distribution.
one of the components of this will be volunteerism, and HR is involved in.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that really was the reason it came here.
Oh, that's okay.
Because it was as close of a match as we could get. This is the one wild card one that you could really put anywhere.
Okay, well, we'll take it.
I have a question, Gary.
Yes.
How, the 300 plus responses, the listeners, the volunteers, how are you gonna solicit these
Sure.
groups, these volunteer groups? Open to community, open just to teachers? Where are these groups gonna come from?
Sure. And if you're ready, are we good with the process? I guess that was, and then I can present this.
Yeah, we're good with it.
So, and to your question, Keith, are you looking at, so I think when you're looking at the 300 responses, now
Yeah.
that's gonna be in the form of a survey. What we to our stakeholders.
Oh, okay, that's
so-
what I meant.
Yeah.
These people that are gonna solicit these responses are gonna be anybody.
Yeah, well, not anybody, but what we'll do is, we really want to start with our families. So we will.
Okay.
We're essentially wanting to find out two or three things. One is, how are we doing in communication?
Yeah.
That could vary by school, right? So it'll be like, where does your child attend school?
Yeah.
The other thing we want to find out is, what mode of communication works best for you? Because we're in a realm of many modes.
Yeah.
So, our goal right now is to try to get things out there everywhere, but what's our sweet spot, and finding that out. Think questions like how often is too often to get a text message on Infinite Campus, those types of things. And so really just get some quality feedback around how we're communicating.
Good.
And what
that answers
people
my
are
question,
feeling.
because my launch the MPSD listing can't even collect feedback. Well, from whom?
Yeah, our
So,
stakeholders.
Yeah.
Good, thank you.
And really, this also goes with, so you're gonna ask your families this set of questions, you're gonna ask your staff this set of questions, and frankly, I think we should ask students sometimes, especially when they get a certain age, how we're doing on communicating as well.
There's also a big part of our community that doesn't have students,
Right.
That doesn't want,
that doesn't have students in our schools.
yeah, that's right.
That are, maybe have children out of the house and are simply living in our community, but certainly have some opinions.
They do. And we've also talked about, this year we sent one newsletter, a print newsletter out to every
Everybody in the
every hamlet in the district. That always is one of those things, like what is, it's a $10,000 bill to do that.
It is.
But it's very important, but it's very important to keep people informed, so.
But if that passes a referendum, what have you gained? I mean,
Well, right.
they're still voting whether they got kids in our district or not.
Right.
That communication is
Yep.
vital. That's
It is.
important.
And this year we did one, and
I thought it was really good.
I did too.
yeah, Ruby and I decided we're gonna do 3 this year, though.
Oh, did
We're gonna
you?
do one in the fall. We're gonna, so like in October, November time, we're gonna, before the holidays. We'll plan one in the doldrums of winter in the February-ish area, and then we'll do a year-end one. Sheboygan puts out a nice publication of a year-end report that they plaster all over the place. And one of the things as part of this communication and engagement, Ruby and I actually went down and met with Nicole, who is the communications person for the Sheboygan Area School District, and I worked with her when I was there, but she's been in her position for 20+ years, and she's very, very good. And she's been part of a lot of the professional organizations and professional development. And it's really great because now Ruby and her are connected. And she's gonna be very, very helpful and supportive in our quest to become better at communicating, not only with our stakeholders within our school system, but also our community. And you'll see this is
What's
pretty
your feeling of like ground zero right now? I mean, communication's been pretty good, I think.
We're moving in the right direction. The other thing you'll see is we're gonna conduct an internal audit.
Yeah,
of
I
all
see
our
that.
communicating.
Yeah.
So that audit will be, we can't have this school sending out a newsletter only once a month, and this school sending them out twice a week. So
Oh, yeah, yeah.
what we'll do with them, and we'll work with them, and we're going to schedule a meeting essentially for Ruby and myself to sit down and meet with administrative leaders, but also secretaries who are sometimes in charge of some of these communications. And we feel like what our job is to listen to people, put forward some standards of communication that can, again, systems. Stacy's a good systems person, of how we'll do this. Because what we want is every kid and every family, no matter what school they go to have the same great experience. And that also involves how our buildings communicate with our families. Because you know what? They don't really want to hear from me. They want to hear from their schools.
I think it's also important that a parent on the north side hears the same thing as a parent on the south side. So that level of communication across all the school districts,
Yeah.
schools, even though different, that point is still the same.
Yeah.
So we don't have, well, so-and-so at Jackson can do this, but you can't do this at Monroe. We got to stop this mine and yours and yin and yang kind of thing.
Yes, that's part of the all ships, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we're gonna be a system finally.
Yeah.
Do you need a motion for this?
Rather than a pack. Yeah.
No, not really, but I just wanted to make sure that I
That's the
shared it.
plan.
So you'll see it's like, I laid it out in 30, 60, 90 days. The other thing is it was very valuable. The MPSD, we called it the Public Relations Committee. Maybe we changed it to like the Communications Committee or whatever, but really I look at that committee as sort of a group that we can use as advisory, but also, really help with making sure that the things that we're doing at the district level lands in the schools, because we made sure to have representation from all the schools on the committee. And that group. How
many people are on the
this year? Well, we had about, I think 12 or 14 sign up. We probably had about 8 to 12 every time, because sometimes it's an after school thing. It's, they come after school once a month on a Wednesday. But the folks so what I plan to do is send out a thing just saying to those who were involved, if you want to stay on, you're welcome to. And then I'll fill the holes wherever we have them as far as making sure other schools are represented. And then I also wanted to just, make sure that, you're seeing that we really want to look at communicating more with our community. And that is the stakeholders that don't have kids that come to school.
You mean the wire?
It's absolutely necessary that they know and understand what we're doing here. Not only what our intentions are, but also how we're doing and how we're doing things. Sort of did this little pilot with this coffee and conversation. We met for a couple Fridays at Jen's Java with an open invitation for people to come in and have some conversations. We had 15 people come over the course of the 2 weeks, and they were mostly different folks each time. It was sort of a little trial run, and I think what we learned is we're going to do this probably once a month, and then we'll rotate around to some different places in town where we'll just hold a general. It was awesome. We talked about so many different topics.
Really,
and, one of the benefits is being able to find out what the community's thinking by what they're asking you. Because they're asking
Sure,
you
yeah,
things
yeah.
that they're hearing about or that they wanna know more about. The good news is they were asking about a lot of the things that we've been talking about, so they are paying attention. And, they were just very, very positive.
That's really good, yeah.
So.
Easier than being a Republican congressman. Yeah.
So you'll also see on here that we're looking to create some opportunities for volunteerism. We think it's a very underutilized thing right now. And Stacy and I have already kind of brainstormed a little bit about some process things we could use. I've had an opportunity to talk to a couple of our principals individually about this, and what an opportunity would be to have a higher level of volunteerism in our school and how they can be helpful. And sometimes, especially areas of short staff where you're all of a sudden short a day and you need, just some supervision help and some things like that. Getting some folks involved, I think, would be a good thing. And of course, we want to keep people updated on what we're doing. So this is the first 100-day plan. I can certainly answer any questions anybody has. We're also coming up with a comprehensive communication plan, Ruby and I, for the district itself that is essentially goes above and beyond this. So when I get that, you'll also be, you can vet it and look at it and ask questions. And but this is a high area of emphasis. So.
Yep, no,
I
good.
appreciated the indicators for success were measurable. And so you can
Yeah.
give us some feedback where you're at.
That'll be part of the report.
100 days.
Yep.
And then one additional on the community connection. No. The community connection newsletter.
Yep.
Partnerships and engagement opportunities. In moving here to Manitowoc in 2011 and learning a little bit more, I was amazed at how much our community, how generous the donations that come into the school district. But you have to kind of dig to find that information. So perhaps highlighting that in the newsletter. And sometimes that just encourages folks to give as well, so.
Right. And we talked about this, this community connections thing, this isn't the thing we're mailing out. This is the thing we're saying, hey, community, here's some things going on, some partnerships.
Right.
It's really just focused on how we're partnering in our relationships in the community, nothing else. So it's very focused on that. So our partners at the chamber or, I meet, fairly regularly with the Progress Lakeshore people in the chamber. In fact, I'm going to both of their board meetings in August to present. And I think it's just a good opportunity because, those members of those boards and those organizations, are certainly involved all over town and in our district. And, establishing those strong community partnerships and relationships, not only with business, but with our government entities, our higher education facilities and colleges is just, a thriving community has all those factors working together. Look at any community you go with that's growing or thriving, they have a great relationship with each other and they're focused on the same things. And I think we're in a position where I think we can do that.
Yeah, you can't just leave it, I mean, it's a lot like politics, because it is politics, that you can't just go when you want something, you gotta be consistent, be, and this is like, well, we really are in the web of the community.
Should have been ice cream with the governor and mayor.
Yeah, that was cool, yeah, that
That was
was,
neat, yeah.
So, will this piece go to the full board or is it stopping at committee?
Well, the plan was to, do oversight through the committees in particular, but that I would always include, we would include this in, communication to all. So it gets communicated to all, but the reports come specifically to the committee.
Okay. So we have to be mindful of those meetings where it's discussed finance and curriculum to be aware of those reports.
Yeah.
Got it.
okay, cool.
This is great. I think our community was itching for this.
I do too.
So I appreciate your leadership on
Do you,
this.
I mean, I don't know, do you really think so?
Yep.
Yeah,
I heard it during my campaign.
okay,
Thank
all right,
you.
anything more on that?
Do we need to take an action?
No, we don't.
No.
We now have policies. We have 3 policies. Waiver of school fees and fines. Fair Labor Standards Act. Revise facility security. Nothing too controversial there, I didn't
I don't
think.
think there's anything controversial.
No, we're getting to the end of
Yeah.
getting those set. You're gonna start getting some update ones now, from the
Yeah.
summer update, and we're hoping to, I mean, I think chunking them out a little bit is better, so that you don't have such an onslaught, so, Ruby and I feel like if we chunk these out in a, reasonable manner, as far as the update policies go, we'll have those done by October, with October or November, with then probably having a month or two, maybe even off of policies, because usually there's a winter edition update too, like a December, January. So the goal would be that, we're bringing things only that we're bringing new or updates,
Good.
right?
Yeah. There's a real tendency in these that the district administrator is like, the buck stops there in all of them. Whereas there were also things that were said or eliminated about, well, involves the board. I mean, I'm not too worried about you being, Donald Trump on this. That everything has got to be kind of a unitary executive thing. But are there people, will that be a discussion?
If there are things in here that we marked or marked under recommendations that you as a board member feel should be different, this would be the perfect time for you to, have that
No,
conversation.
Go through committee first. before-
And through
Yeah,
committee,
yeah.
But and that would be the idea of having, in particular when we get caught up. And I know it's been a lot of work with these, but, frankly, it was just because they had been neglected for a really long time. But
Yeah.
once we get caught up, it should be manageable. And then, the goal then is if, to dive into these, and if there are specific concerns that you have or, questions for us as because, some of this we're looking at, I'll give Stacy a stack that are HR related, and I'll give Katie some that are, special education or student service related, and Heidi some in curriculum, and Nathan with some. So our directors are looking at these with, we're not lawyers, right? We're educators. So, we're looking through these recommendations through the lens of how do we, what's the best route, right, for our district?
Yeah.
And then, we make the recommendation. Doesn't mean it's right, wrong. I mean, it just, we do our best. And then, obviously, this is the major function of the board, is to set policy. So it'd be very important if you have, viewpoints on the recommendations that you bring them out and perhaps amend or, yeah.
I didn't see anything here.
Yeah.
I think it goes back to our training last month in our role as governance. And some of those examples that we took a look at, I think they were very insightful. To go back to your comment, I think really helping the board try to maneuver through, boy, is that oversight or is that actually
Yeah, right.
getting in the weeds a little too much? So I certainly look at those every time as well, but.
And I hope you also.
It depends on what the topic of the policy is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some stuff you don't want us messing with.
So what kind of action do you need on these? Just to send
I
them-
think we
just send
recommend
them
that
to the
they
board?
be approved as
I so
presented.
move.
Yeah,
Second.
all right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No opposed? Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.